So a few of you that may actually clicked on this video may have thought to yourself, is this the sequel to Conan the Barbarian? Not exactly. This is a horror film called Barbarian that just dropped in theaters. It's been getting a little bit of buzz lately, and it is #1 at the box office this past week, so let's talk about it. But before I get into my review, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, give the video a like, comment below your thoughts on this film, and also turn the notification bell so you never miss any video that I drop and I upload weekly. And now without further ado, let's get into this review. A woman staying at an Airbnb discovers that the house she has rented is not what it seems. The film stars Georgina Campbell, Bill Skarsgård, Justin Long, Matthew Patrick Davis, Richard Brake, and many others, and was directed by Zach Cregger. So going into Barbarian, I didn't really know too much about this film. I saw a clip of a trailer, and I did avoid all reviews going into this film, so I was pretty fresh going into this film. I knew some of the cast that was in it, and I did get to go with a fellow YouTuber, The Movie Man. You guys should definitely check out his channel. I will link it down below, and you guys should definitely give him a sub. He does movie reviews as well. So I was really kind of excited to see this film because I really didn't know too much. I thought that the film did a really good job of keeping you guessing. I didn't predict anything that was going to happen in this film. I felt that they did a really good job of having different twists and turns to really keep you guessing. So the film, it starts off with this girl named Tess. She books an Airbnb and she goes into this neighborhood, and it's really dark and there's not really many lights in the neighborhood. And when she tries to actually go into this Airbnb, she puts the code in, she gets the keys, and she's met with another guy named Keith. So the film actually has these two characters as being double booked at this Airbnb. And when she's at this Airbnb, Keith is acting really strange. He has really weird demeanor. It seems like he's really off as a person. You're really trying to think and try to guess what really his involvement with this whole double booking. Is he really involved with this double booking? Does he have some plan for Tess? And was it really a setup? So that really kept me guessing throughout the film. I enjoyed that this film was actually not just a full-fledged horror movie. It has that mystery edge to it, and it also has a lot of comedy as well. Now, Justin Long's character, he is in the second half of the movie, and his character was really funny. Now, his character can be really unlikable, mainly because of what happens with his character and what his involvement with certain things in the movie is, but his acting was fine. And when he does have these comedy scenes, I was laughing out loud. There wasn't a lot of people in our theater, but I was having a really good time. There's a tape measure scene that's really funny that he's involved in, and there's another scene where he actually hears a bunch of noises downstairs and he's cussing, he's telling him he's got a weapon. It was just really funny, and I was just laughing. I really love the moments in the underground tunnel. Now, it's pitch black, and I can just imagine as you're going down these stairs how cold and clammy, and how it just feels like there's a bunch of death, and you really just don't know what really is in this tunnel. So when you're watching this, you're just expecting something to really pop out or something to really just happen, and you have this score that really defines that. So when the character is actually walking down the stairs, the score is actually downtuned, so it gets to a really, really low sound, and it really creates that horror atmosphere. And that's where this film really does a really good job with the horror aspect, because it really plays well to the score. And when the score actually hits, you really feel like you're really in the moment with the character, and you're just bracing yourself to really feel what the heck is going to happen here, what is down in this tunnel. And this tunnel, it's one of those tunnels that it goes further and further back, and there's more depth to it. I also really enjoyed the beginning scene. Now, the beginning scene really sets the tone for this film. So it's raining outside, there's not really any lights, and this neighborhood she's in, it could be kind of unsafe. You really don't know where you're really at when you're renting out an Airbnb. And they did a really good job with the rain and just building this horror atmosphere. Even during the day when it's light out and they show this neighborhood looks like a total hellhole. There's a bunch of houses that are torn apart that look like they've been burned down. It's really gone to crap. So you would think to yourself as a character, if you've rented a place like this, you definitely would be questioning and really just trying to figure out why all these homes around this area have turned to crap. And that's where this mystery edge of the film really does play a factor in the film. My last positive of this film is there's some really gross out scenes in here. Now, as horror, I feel that that is something that can happen from time to time in a horror film. A lot of people, they really don't like horror because there's those kinds of moments. And I will say, I won't give away the scene and actually what it is, but during the scene, it's a really gross scene. And they actually had a scene on top of that scene that they actually deleted in the movie, and I really would have liked to actually seen that scene. Even though it's really gross, I think it really would have freaked out people. I actually read this online, and the director had to remove it because he just felt that that would be a little bit too much. But I would have been okay with it. It would have been a really gross scene. It definitely would have had a reaction out of people. So I am wondering if they will have that on like a Blu-ray deleted scene. It'd be really cool to actually see how that plays out in the film. I didn't really have a lot of negatives for this film, but the few I did have starts with a backstory. So they show a backstory to this particular character that is involved in present time, and I really wish that they would have stretched that out more. We get to see a little bit in how the neighborhood was really nice before it all turned to crap, and we really don't get to really elaborate too much on this character that actually is in present time. So I would have liked to have a little bit more with that. The film also has some tropes, some character decisions that could really annoy you, characters that turn a cold shoulder when there is a face of danger. There was even a part in this film where they actually have a major tone change, and during this tone change, something really intense is happening, and they just cut to a completely different scene that is completely different in tone. And I was just like, what the heck? No, I was really getting into that part. So that annoyed me a little bit. It did slow the film down a little bit, but for the most part, I thought the pacing of this film was done pretty well. I really liked how with each act, it really does build and build. And really the story is really kind of crazy, and it just really does go all the way here. And I think that some people, they will find this film to be a little bit annoying at times. I think some people, they won't really like that this film doesn't really always give you the answers. It really does build on certain ideas, but it doesn't really give you all the information. So you really do have to use a little bit of imagination with some of the characters. Some of it you can guess, and some of it you can really kind of infer or really think that maybe that this might have happened, or this character knew this, stuff like that. And I can see where people would be a little bit annoyed with this film, that it isn't really always painted all the way for people and really isn't pictured in a way that really is explained to the fullest. But really, I really didn't have any other issues with this film. I really did like this film. I love the comedy aspect of this film. I love that it really builds and builds, has that mystery, has that horror, and I really did think that this was a pretty good horror film. So I'm gonna give a score to this film a 4 out of 5. Let me know down in the comments, what did you think about this film? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Was it meh? Thank you guys for watching as always, and I'll see you guys on my next review.